Hello, it's Jane Miller, and thanks for tuning in. I promised you just a few minutes on one of my favorite topics, the knowing-doing gap. So, if we already know what to do, why don't we do it? If we already have all the knowledge in our brains from years of study, years of work experience, why don't we do the things that we know we want to do? Or even, why do we do things that we know aren't going to get the results we want? So let's think about a salesperson who knows how to sell, has been through all the training, knows how to face objections, close the sale, and yet they don't do it. Why? Or how about a student who knows how to study? They're a C student, they know how they can get better, and yet they don't do it. Any result that we're trying to get in life, a lot of times we'll say, I already know that, so why don't we do it? Well, here is the key. It's how we're thinking about the results we want. If we think about the results we're already getting, and maybe they're not exactly what we want, that's not going to put us into the action that we want to get the new result. So the first thing we have to do is think about what we really want. What is the result that we're going after? What does it look like, feel like? We need to put it on the screen of our minds and really think about what we're going after. Then and only then will we begin to create the image, the self-image that we need to actually go after it. What we do here at the Miller Institute is work a lot on what we're thinking, and we no longer let just our senses and the outside world dictate what we're doing and thinking. We think, we take control of our circumstances and create the circumstances that we want. Now we must take total responsibility, personal responsibility for this, and it can be done. So if you're a company owner or business executive and you say, you know, I'm giving my people all this training, why don't they do what they already know how to do? Let's work on that self-image. You know, if thinking about the mind, and if you've worked with me, you know that when we think about the mind, I talk about two parts. The conscious mind, which is where all of our thinking, intellect, our senses lie, and then our subconscious mind. That part of the mind that cannot accept or reject, it only accepts what we give it. It can't differentiate from what is true and what is fantasy. And I talk about the great scientists, right? Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, and how about inventors like the Wright brothers? Do you think they were really smart? Do we know their IQs? They'll tell you in their works that smarts and brain power was helpful, but it wasn't the reason they were successful. It was imagination. So as we're trying to use the intellectual factors of our mind, what has been given to us, we need to use imagination and reason and come up with ideas, come up with the thing that we really want. Then, instead of focusing on the results we're already getting, we focus on what we really want. That puts us into a different feeling about what we want, and that's what creates the action. It's not okay to just say, change your behavior, do something different. Well, if it was as easy as all that, we'd already do it, and we'd already do what we know how to do. So you can change your results, but it's going to take changing your self-image. So here at the Miller Institute, we work a lot on that, and we start with your wonderful mind, thinking about the results that you want, putting them on the screen of our mind, and then moving ahead to go get it. You know, starting right now, you can have that winner's image, right? And stop doing the things that aren't getting us the results that we want, and start doing the things that get us the results we want. You know, and a common error is really trying to change the results by just changing behavior. And what we've found is if you do that, maybe you'll get a little blip on the radar screen for a little while, but changing just behavior is a temporary fix. We need to change the image. We need to change those paradigms that might have been embedded there from little on up. Change paradigm, change the results. And all the paradigm is a multitude of habits. So we can help you change those habits. All you have to do is begin. That way, you will do what you already know how to do to get the results that you're wanting. More on this later. Thanks for tuning in. This is Jane Miller.